Hello everyone. In this lesson, we will introduce the lubricating oil purifying system. The lubricating oil purifying system main equipment includes 3 sets oil pumps for oil separator, 2 main engine loop oil pumps, and 1 auxiliary lubricating oil supply pump. There are also 3 lubricating oil separators, 2 main engine lubricating oil separators, 1 auxiliary lubricating oil separator. It's worth noticing that, except number 1 main engine lubricating oil separator, it is used to clean the lubricating oil of the main engine system. Auxiliary engine lubricating oil separator and number 2 main engine lubricating oil separator can be used as backup. That means the pipes of the separator are connected. The lubricating oil of the main engine system can be separated and purified by generator oil separator. It is also possible to separate and purify the lubricating oil of the generator system with the number 2 main engine lubricating oil separator. Although the 2 oil separators can be used as backup with each other, but the supply pumps that carry severally are not used as backup. That is to say, the oil supply pump of number 2 main engine oil separator can only supply oil for number 2 main engine oil separator, but cannot for the generator lubricating oil separator oil supply, and vice versa. The backup of the 2 oil separators is realized by changing the source of lubricating oil at the inlet of the oil pump. Through this interconnecting pipeline, open the appropriate valves, can change the corresponding source of lubricating oil. There are 3 supply pumps and 3 separators. There are also 3 steam heaters at the oil separator inlet. The bottom also set up a lubricating oil sludge tank and a main engine oil circulation tank. Next, we introduce the specific pipeline. In the fuel oil separator system we have introduced, the oil separator needs to pay attention to its 3 core pipelines: oil inlet pipeline, bypass pipe, and oil outlet pipe. Here take the generator oil separator as an example. The line passing through the heater is the oil inlet line of the oil separator. This is a solenoid 3-way valve that controls the oil intake. Then the other side of the 3-way valve is the bypass pipeline. The throttle valve also has a bypass function. When the lubricating oil pressure into the oil separator is too high, through the throttle valve bypass directly, the bypass lubricating oil returns to the suction port of the oil supply pump. The 2C mark the connection of the pipeline. The line is the oil separator outlet line. After the separation and purification, the clean oil can be backed to the corresponding oil tank from the outlet line. The same 2 main engine oil separators are similar. We won't go into details here. Above is the oil separator 3-core pipeline. The filter is usually arranged at the suction inlet of the supply pump. Therefore, below the filter are the specific sources of lubricating oil. This is an interconnecting source pipeline. We won't look at the part of main engine firstly. We can see the source of generator oil. Oil from generator oil setting tank. Oil from generator sump. Oil from generator oil overflow tank, bypass port C, can also form a cycle. In fact, these 3 channels of oil is introduced in the service system. Each oil tank has relevant oil circuit. They can be transported to the oil separator for purification. Select the sources of the oil by opening these 3 valves. After passing through the filter and the oil feeding pump, lubricating oil will divide into 2 paths in the node. One way is transported to the oil separator. The other way is transported to the waste oil collection tank. When the oil is contaminated and not suitable for using, we need to pump out the waste or dirty oil. Then add clean oil to the corresponding oil sump, oil tank, and so on. There's also a pipe here leading directly to the settling tank. This is similar to transfer the oil tank between in different tanks. In some special cases, such as oil sump or overflow tank oil level is too high. Or maybe we need to empty it temporarily. This time we need to pump out the lubricating oil by the supply pump. Therefore, the oil supply pump can also double as a lubricating oil supply pump, in addition to the oil supply for the oil separator. We continue with normal purification lines. Enter the heater through this line. The heater is heated by steam. This is the steam inlet. This is the condensate outlet. This is the temperature control valve at the steam inlet. It adjusts the opening of the steam valve by reading the temperature of the oil at the outlet of the heater. Then to maintain the oil temperature of heater outlet at the set value. Ensure the separation and purification effect of oil separator. Out of the heater and then through the three-way valve into the oil separator. The separated and purified oil comes out of the outlet. Return to generator oil settling tank. Normally, when we separate the sump oil, the separated oil also returns directly to the sump, instead of going back to the settling tank. This is to ensure the quality of the oil. There are corresponding pipeline selection in the page of transport system. There are the generator lubricating oil related pipelines. Let's take a brief introduction of the number 2 main oil separator. We can see the main sources are as follows. Main engine lubricating oil circulating tank. Main engine lubricating oil settling tank. Main engine hydraulic control oil tank. Select the desired oil source. Open the appropriate valve. Through supply pump. One way back to the lubricating oil refueling pipeline directly. At this time, the oil supply pump of separator works as a transfer pump. Normally, through this line, then through the heater into the oil separator. The purified lubricating oil is divided into 2 ways at this node. One way goes to the oil refueling line. That means the oil tanks which the refueling pipeline can go the purified oil can also go there. The other way is directly back to the main engine oil sump. That's where it is from before purifying. The purified oil from the oil sump also goes to the oil sump. Avoid contamination between oils. Ensure the quality of lubricating oil. Number 1 oil separator is the same. Here we pay attention to the connection between the generator oil separator and the number 2 main oil separator. The line right here. For example, now the generator oil separator fails. We can separate the lubricating oil from the generator system by using the number 2 main engine lubricating oil separator. As I introduced before, the oil pump and oil separator are always corresponding. Therefore, the number 2 main engine lubricating oil supply pump is used. But now the source of lubricating oil is from the generator system. Therefore, in the oil pump suction line, we need to choose the source of generator lubricating oil by opening the corresponding valves to the generator section and ensure that the part of the main engine corresponding valves are closed. At this time, number 2 main engine oil supply pump can be transported the lubricating oil of generator system into number 2 main engine oil separator. After separation and purification of the lubricating oil cannot be transported to the part of main engine, but need to go through the part that connected to the generator. From this line to the outlet of the generator oil separator, then transport to the corresponding oil tanks. This is the connection line between the two lubricating oil separators. So it is the same when the generator lubricating oil separator do as the main engine lubricating oil separator. The slag outlets of the 3 oil separators all lead to the lubricating oil slag tank. It can be incinerated by incinerator or recycled on the shore. Above is a brief introduction of lubricating oil purifying system.